Your journey never stops. A new adventure awaits you just a few clicks away. A road trip or vacation, a time to connect with those we care about. We take on the hassle so you don't have to. We are here to give you the freedom to go places. WopeCar. Rent a car in a few clicks.
Hi everyone, welcome to WopeCar Talks. Today, I'm here to talk about the entrepreneurship playbook. I'm sure it's such an interesting topic for most people here. I'm Eunice and I'm here with two amazing gentlemen here. But before I get to it, I know it's something that most people talk about, that's making it here in Ghana or entrepreneurship here in Ghana is such a heavy or tight, or should I even say high hurdle. But today we're going to talk about all the cons, the pros, and to my left, I have two amazing gentlemen. First up, we have Brian. I would say Brian is an accomplished software engineer. If there's any addition or something that I left, feel free to always add it. Okay, so go ahead and introduce.
So I'm Brian. I'm a software engineer. I've been in the tech space in Ghana for more than 10 years now. I've been building amazing digital products, scaling companies, and I'm doing what I love, writing code and providing solutions.
Lovely. And Carl?
Yeah, and I'm Carl. So one of the directors for WopeCar. I'm also into multi-unit management, real estate, healthcare, quite a little bit of stuff.
Okay, that sounds interesting. So today's conversation is about peeling back the layers, the wins, the stumbles, and the hacks, the habits, and finding out how entrepreneurs make it here in Ghana. And just to mention that this podcast is inspired or is sponsored by WopeCar, Freedom to Go Places. So let's get right into it. So just before I even go into the questions, how many of us, what's your favorite Ghanaian food that you love? You know how most people love wache, some people love their Hausa cocoa, some people love like jollof, or some people just like to, just be bougie and just have cornflakes or tea for breakfast. What's your go-to for?
I think for me, it's wache.
Wache. I totally agree.
If I wanted to go and get wache, but
I can feel you.
Meetings restricted my wache hand.
Your wache hand. Yeah. Carl, what's it for
Yeah,
you?
mine is beans. Gobe. That's my favorite. Yeah.
That's your favorite.
Give me some gobe any day, man. We're good.
So, interesting. I can relate because funny enough, growing up, gobe was one of the food that I did not like at all. But now, funny enough, I don't know how it's something that I want to eat almost every day,
right.
But I just have to control myself. Right. So bringing it back to our conversation about entrepreneurs, in discussions with, let's say, work colleagues, there are sometimes, I think people think about entrepreneurship so far off that they even forget the little things or things that are in front of them. Because taking, let's say, the wache seller or even the gobe seller, they start, again, they put their table out there, they employ maybe days or weeks or months or years pass by, they employ 2 or more, 3 people, and then business starts booming, they start making money, and then everyone is talking about it. Let me even use one of the most popular wache sellers that we all know that most people go to. So my first question is, tell us the story of how you started. How did you start? Did you need to have like $1 million in your account, or did you just, you know what, I have this idea, let's just go for it? Or how was your journey? How did you start?
Let's hear from Carl.
Okay, for me, in terms of the real estate space, we'll start with that first. I've always been passionate about it, but obviously what happened was, I moved to the States, and I've been there quite a long time. So, my first property was obviously acquired over there, and this was a property I personally stayed in, but obviously coming up, I've always been intrigued about, homes, and, it's just something that's been pretty cool. So I started with, the first property that I bought, eventually, I rented that one out, and then I started scaling up, and it's just that's how I started it.
Okay, so if you don't mind me asking, how much was in terms of starting, or was the property already there?
No, I mean the first property I acquired it, I bought it.
Okay.
So, in terms of like you mean like what like
Just to give people an idea of, okay, maybe I started with maybe X amount, or you don't have to go into the figures too if.
right. I mean in terms of the dollar amount, I would obviously can't put a number on it, but
Yeah.
it wasn't it's
Yeah.
it's not a whole lot. I mean it's a good amount,
It's a good
but it's
amount.
not a whole lot compared to somebody might think that
Need.
I need maybe 200K, 300K to really start something.
Okay.
But something pretty decent to start off.
Okay. And Brian?
All right, so I think for me, I didn't need to have an amount to start. I had the skill set. So for me, I've been a software engineer for a very long time. For me, the reason why I'm into business, so that's the reason why I created Touchstack, my company that I'm a solo founder of, is because of talent, navigating the terrain when I started, the various restrictions that I had, not only limited to geography, but also the fact that you are a junior when you're starting your career out, getting opportunities, especially in where we are in Ghana. A lot of people and companies will rather take a shot at a senior person within that skill set or role. Obviously, and when I started business, I also got to understand it from that perspective of it's a better investment to have it. So I started Touchstack off right from, I would say, right from my desk at home, and we also started. I think the very first time we started Touchstack, I was working in iSpace, my last job before I went full time entrepreneur, and I started with two really close friends. There became three at a point. One of the person who's also behind the WopeCar brand was Sheena. Sheena was one of the founding people that we conceptualized the idea of scaling digital products for customers who really wanted digital solutions and did not know how to get these solutions. And so myself, Sheena, Ransben, and Dede, these were the core founding team members when we started at the time, who helped me shape the idea and then all of that. So yeah.
That
That's been my
sounds
journey.
good. So you would say that skill set does actually make you money, because I'm sure there are so many
Definitely.
people that think that, oh, just having the skill set is not alone won't make you money, because then, okay, I have the skill set, but then how then do I end up seeing X amount of money in my account or getting more money? But so they just wait to getting more money. Okay, no, I need to raise X amount of money, then be able to start this business or.
So I think to be honest, skill set of course plays a very pivotal role in the start. But if you are coming into business with the mindset of money, and that is where we are in Ghana.
Right.
I mean, let's not lie to
Sure.
ourselves. It's everybody gets university graduate, finishes school, doesn't want to work. I mean, I want to be a business owner myself. I want to. And then Carl just said, oh, he got real estate. He
Yeah.
bought it. Let Carl tell you the details that went into it. And you see, there's a thin line between hunger and you executing.
Sure.
You can be hungry for it, but you should not have the mentality that I'm coming into business, so my first year for cash out, and I'll buy Corvettes. Right? So business doesn't work that way.
Yeah.
Sometimes 5 years you wouldn't get anything.
You would not be
returns.
profitable.
And at the end of the day, so let's change or let's
That
renew
narrative.
the mindset.
Okay.
You will not get your return on investment the first
away.
year. The second year, if the Holy Spirit has negotiated with you well, then fine.
Right.
But I mean, don't come into business with the expectation of money. Because Carl has done real estate, me too, I'm going to do it.
Right.
It takes a lot of, like I said, skill, knowledge, sometimes network,
Sure.
and a whole lot of factors. And I'm sure Carl would also share his experience about how he also went through the terrain. It's a mixture of different things.
Yes, But we both agree that network plays like a key role here
Very
too.
much.
Oh
Very much.
yeah, heavily. You know, and you know, I mean, adding to that, I mean, you got to be driven, right?
Definitely.
True.
Extremely driven for that because it's
The
really
passion.
not that easy. And like you said, a lot of people just get out of college and all those different things, and then they just want to make money. Oh, I want to be my own boss. I want to do this. I want to do that. I mean, it's fine, but you know, the biggest thing is that obviously you also got to learn from somebody,
Sure.
right? You know, and that's how you become who you are. So, you know, I always my biggest advice to everybody is once you get out of college or whatever it is, just work under somebody,
Yeah.
and then just obviously because you got to learn the work ethics and everything else that comes with it,
Yeah.
and then at some point if you feel like, hey, I'm ready for
Ready
this,
for
then
this.
you go for it because there is nothing like, you know, obviously having your own at some point. You know,
Yeah.
that's what to me that's what life is about, right?
Yeah.
At some point it's that ownership, but it's not for everybody,
Yeah.
right?
I
You know,
agree.
it's not for everybody,
Yeah.
and so you gotta have the drive. You gotta be extremely consistent to obviously get it done. But yeah, that's what it's about.
I love how you spoke about you've got to learn from someone because I've realized that especially with recent graduates, everyone is in a hurry to quote unquote, you know, have the CEO title. They don't want to learn. And then you
Right.
realize that they start a business, then they don't have the basic skills in terms of like how to communicate, how to, you know, work on time, how to deliver certain or meet certain deadlines, and it becomes a challenge down because then you didn't learn from someone who was up there, who has gone through that process, and it's like they just, you know, walked into it without even being groomed into it. So then later on it becomes a problem, and if you're not making it, then I'm like, my family people.
Right.
But yeah, so even with you both starting, would you say there was a point in time where you felt like, I can't do this anymore? Like this entrepreneurship thing is maybe it's not for me. Maybe I'm not called to do it.
I think for me, I feel it every day. Even today when I woke up, I wanted to quit. But I mean, like he said in his previous statement, legacy is what we are all heading towards. And he also mentioned something about ownership. At the end of the day, we've paid our dues. One thing you might not have heard from our accounts is that we've both worked for somebody.
Right.
We just didn't come out and then say, oh, we founded a company, multi-million dollars,
Right.
we are signing checks and all of that. We've paid our dues by working. We've built the network, we've built the culture, we've built the discipline. And he mentioned something about consistency, right?
Yeah.
You have to be consistent.
Right.
Right, so it's a lot of factors that come into it. So I'll say it's not a one size fits all approach. Take it gradually. So for new graduates, I beg you, don't see CEO. The CEO title is nothing. Yeah, but to me, I am CEO. But at the end of the day, it takes so much away from you. I'll tell you. Maybe later in the conversation, I'll tell you some of the core problems that I have faced in my entrepreneurial journey that some people could also learn from. But it's not been an easy thing. So yeah, I do wake up feeling that way and then this thing. But again, when I look at the future, sometimes when I look at the number of interns that's rushed to come for internship at our organization, the amount of growth that I see in my team, individuals. So sometimes when the thought comes in and quit, I'm like, hey, Brian, if you quit there, somebody cares you.
A lot of people depending on you.
Yeah, a lot of people are depending on you. And it's not for me, it's not family.
Right.
It's about seeing somebody start from the bottom and
being
rise
able to
over the
grow.
years. This person has been nurtured, they've grown from the way they talk to the way they relate to people, and I can say, oh, that's a Touchstack event, or that's a Gamershive effect, or that's so. It's for me. It's what keeps me going is the growth I see in my team. And it's not the amount of checks I sign. Of course, profitability is what we all try to gain, revenue and all of that. But to be honest, it's the human effort that we've put into it as core catalysts to move people to where they want to get to. Because in life, you need to hold somebody's hand.
Right.
As somebody held my hand previously.
Right.
It's paying it back or paying it forward.
Right.
And then that's pretty much it for me. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean that's very, very true. You know, I mean, yeah, obviously same thing. Times like I want to give up, right? Or times I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I'm just tired of it. But then I look at the bigger picture and the brighter side of it, and then obviously having to, you know, help people get into, you know, have, make a living, be able to take care of their families,
Yeah.
all those
The
things,
joy.
it puts a smile on my face. So that obviously keeps me going every day with it. But yeah, there's times you're like, I don't even want to deal with this employee anymore. Like, this guy is just terrible. Like, I keep doing it, but then and then there's always the good ones.
Yeah.
Right? There's always the good ones that
Who keep
you
on
know,
motivating
keep on
you.
motivating, and you like, they really want it.
Yeah.
Right? And then
So I have
the
no
ones that
reason
don't
to
want
fail
it.
them.
Right.
Yeah.
So the ones that don't want it, at some point they have to go.
Yeah, they have
You
to
know?
go.
And that's what it is, to make room for the ones that really, really want it. But it's not an easy journey, I mean, if somebody tells you that it's easy, obviously they're lying to you. But once you come in and you know what you want, and me, my biggest thing is seeing people win too, right? It's not just about me.
Gives you the joy.
Yeah, it's see the joy in it, right? It's just seeing people win, and that makes me happy, and that
I
motivates me to
can
keep doing
totally relate to that, because then with the work that I do, I work with a lot of entrepreneurs,
Right.
seeing them. So basically seeing them, from the early stage,
Right.
being able to grow, scale, raise funds, and then get to like a whole new level, even to the global stage, just brings me, so much joy seeing that, oh, so you started from this point and now you're here.
Exactly.
So I'm guessing it's the same, literally just being an entrepreneur, just knowing that, there's someone that looks up to me, wakes up every morning saying that, okay, let's do this. So then why then do I have to quit now?
Right. Yeah. that's
But
true.
would you say, or what would you say would be your proudest moment, aside, seeing most people happy, or the joy that it gives you of the whole entrepreneurship journey?
I think it's when obviously the business starts to grow and evolve.
When the
right?
money starts
When the money starts
coming.
coming, you're like, man, really? This is really happening, So, like, for me, when I start with that, in terms of from moving from 1 unit to 2 to 3 to, and then sometimes you pinch yourself and like, man, this is really happening. Right? This is, so I think that's a joy in that for me, the growth aspect of it.
Definitely. I think for me, mine is the same as well. It's getting the business to profitability. And of course, for every business owner, you want to make sure that there's revenue coming in, there's growth coming into the business. And I think for me, that moment where I'm extremely happy is when I'm just passing by, maybe going to the bank, going somewhere, and somebody is using my product, a digital
You're like,
solution that they are using. I'm like, oh, so my team built this and they're using it, and you can see the reaction. And when we go for reviews, quarterly review sessions, our customers just love the products that we've built. Even for Gamershive, we own like a gaming service provision, esports platform and stuff like that. When we go and set up for clients or at events and stuff like that, the joy that people come in, releasing stress, tension by playing a board game, playing a card game, and doing all of those things, it gets us very happy. Just this Saturday, we're fortunate enough to be at the Rotary event.
Oh, okay.
And we provided that gaming experience, and we had the poker lined up. All the guys wanted to play, FIFA tournament and all of that. The ladies were playing with Jenga, and it literally brought everybody together.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, so what if we didn't exist, right? What if, it's something that brings... So for me and my business partner, we are just sitting at this day and we're like, of course, we've not reached that profitability for Gamershive yet. We are just about a year old, but the love, what people come and interact with our products and, use our services and stuff like that, it just shows that there is so much potential. Let's just remain consistent.
Right.
And let the grace of God be abound towards everybody. So that's it.
But do you feel, okay, so, and when you are starting, again, most people always forget that when you start entrepreneurship, as working to someone, at least you're very sure that at the end of each month, there's money coming into your account. But starting as entrepreneurs, I don't know for both of you, if you started paying yourself or at what point you started paying yourselves. If it was an early stage, if it was months later, years later, would you say that's something that was a problem, or you sort of figured it out at an early stage?
Okay, so I think for me, it was something we had to figure out later on.
How long did it take you?
I think about 2 to 3 years after. The reason being was that I'd also come out of the job market, of course. And before I came out of the job market to fully come into entrepreneurship, I had savings in my bank account.
Yeah,
So for those who are watching, when before getting into that entrepreneur, just make sure that you are prepared because the bills don't wait for anybody.
No.
Sure. So
Life doesn't
savings.
wait for anybody. So have like a savings that you can fall on. I've done some investments, some savings.
If your savings finish.
Oh yes, definitely it would finish at the point, right? But at that point, because I anticipated, at that point that it finished, if I had gotten, let's say, a backlog of salary for, let's say, 2 years, I know that if I don't live a flashy lifestyle and whatever, and I live decently, it should be able to suffice for that too. So even in entrepreneurship, when you raise capital, or when there's something called runway.
Yeah.
Right, so you've anticipated runway for yourself, and now you know that you have X amount of money. Now you can get your hands dirty by going to do the customer acquisition process and all of that for the business and all of that. And for me, the main focus was to make sure the people that we've employed, let's make sure that they are paid.
Get paid,
Yeah.
right?
Sure.
Right. So from the start, it's not me. I figured out how I can survive because. I mean, I have to pay for internet. I have to. I own a home. I have to do all of those things. So money is already placed aside on that. Now we need to use the money that we are using to run the business to focus on the core team who can get the product or the service to where it needs to get to, and those are the people that we will prioritize.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, I think with me, it took me, I'll probably say after a year. To really start, paying myself, but it wasn't a lot.
It wasn't.
You know, it was just majority went back into the business. Because, the vision was to scale up. So if I'm taking a good amount of money, it would be very hard, right? Exactly. So but after a year, I started giving myself something little. But just to add to what Brian said too, you got to make sure you have something to fall back on, in terms of that saving. So if you're starting a business and everything you have is going into it, and then there's nothing to fall on, because you still got to survive, right? Sure. And then you bringing people in, they have families to take care of and everything like that. So you got to make sure that you have that, And then with you figure it out, right? You figure it out, But the people that, the people that are reporting to you, they have to survive, they have to live. Because if you don't take care of them, they will go.
Yeah,
right?
They become more like your dependent.
Absolutely, and you cannot do it by yourself.
Yeah,
I don't care what anybody says in anything in any business. Oh, I didn't. They're lying to you. They never did it by themselves because you cannot do it by yourself. Yeah, you totally cannot do it by yourself. I mean, it's not a one man show, right? I mean, sometimes there's people behind it that don't want to.
Sure.
But you are the forefront of it, and then obviously you got to drive the ship. But I mean, you have people to take care of. So you just got to make sure you have that game plan in place to make sure people are good.
So it's definitely not bad to always ask for help from people.
Totally not. I mean, the only way, this is what I always say, that, the only way you will learn and become successful, you got to ask a lot of questions, right? You got to talk to people, right? Don't ever feel like I know it all.
No, you don't.
No, you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you just got to ask those questions. Like, when, like me, when I see somebody or whatever it is, even with me even being in this space for such a long time, I'm like, man, how did you get here? How did you get to 2? How did you get to 3? How did you get to 4? Like, I'm trying to pick their brain how they did it. And then at some point you figure out, okay, maybe if I adapt that concept that they have and add it to mine, I can really, move at a faster pace, pace,
Because people actually also give you different perspectives.
Yeah.
So that's
100%.
also, So
100%,
that. But coming back to Brian, you mentioned something about facing hurdles when you started your entrepreneurship. So I just wanted you to,
Okay, so one of the hurdles, and also to go back to the question that we were just taking a stab at, was the risk that we took, right? For me, I've been a risk taker since, and
don't we love risk takers?
but there's also a condition to that one, right? But the risk that we took, right? When we talk about we not paying ourselves and all of those things, imagine if you are married with 2 kids, and you are telling me that you are going to be an entrepreneur.
Oh Lord!
Right? Wow, I want you.
Right.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do? Yeah.
And you also have you have a wife. You've gone to sign an agreement on the altar to take care of somebody's daughter. Right? It's a lot of things. Then you also have kids.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not as easy.
Yeah.
Right? And that is something that before you take the leap of faith to become an entrepreneur, you have to critically understand.
Yeah.
right? It's the same thing. I have my business partner, Frederick, who's co-founder and CEO for Gamershive. He got married last year.
Okay.
Right, and
Yeah.
some of the risks that we are taking. Look, we call ourselves Brian. Yeah, I'm prepping my wife for this thing. I mean, yeah, I have to set the conditions straight. And these are some personal conversations that I'm letting you in on.
Yeah.
Right, and we talk about it because of course, I don't have wife and kids now. Right, but obviously, as I get there, these are decisions that I'm also asking myself. Because if I don't start to think about these things, when we get there, I cannot go and let somebody's daughter suffer.
Right.
Yeah.
Because me, I'm very ambitious.
Right.
You get where I'm coming from. So these are some of the things you would go, and it's entrepreneurship journey is a lonely journey.
It is.
It's very lonely. I don't know if it's been super sweet for you, Carl.
No. I mean, it hasn't. I mean, it is a lonely journey, But I think the fortunate thing with me is that I've always had people to always be in that corner.
Right.
That will always tell me, you got it. So. Like my mom has always been obviously very, huge in my growth. My mom and dad, but my mom, heavily in terms of not giving up and not stopping. Like even when I first bought my first property, I was about 25 years old, and I had left tech, moved to the States, finishing up school, got into med school, and didn't finish it, right? So then. My dad is like, I don't like the route that you're going, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then having to, at some point come to my mom and like, I really want to, do something, which was my first, investment. And then she's like, yeah, you can do it. You can do it. So it's always having that person that consistently would tell you that you can do it. So I had that my mom in my corner that would always tell me not to stop, not to give up, so that always gets you going. But yeah, it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not easy, yeah.
That's quite interesting. So bringing me back to my next thought. So what would you say or one strategy that's helped you? So let me use this as an example. So even with ride-hailing services, if there's a price hike or if there's more demand, they increase their prices. If there is an issue in terms of increasing fuel prices, they realign their prices. So what would you say your strategy is or your growth strategy is in entrepreneurship?
I think for me, when it comes to pricing, I've always been the person that I don't want to be the most expensive person on the market, because for me, volume, it's important for me. So if prices are going up, first of all, I want to create a great experience, right? I want people to come, love, what I offer, in terms of properties or whatever it is. But I don't want to be the most expensive. I think in Ghana sometimes, which I've realized, that people feel like if you are the most expensive, that means you are, the best, But it's not really like that. Now, obviously, I don't want to be the cheapest, but I don't want to be the most expensive. I want to be right in the middle. So what it is that I'm getting that traction. Because volume, at the end of the day, it's very, very important. It really adds up, right? So let's just say if I'm running Airbnbs or whatever it is, and my price is extremely high, and then nobody is really coming out, and I'm getting somebody in there once a, maybe the whole month, I have somebody stay maybe 5 days, and then I'm very expensive. No, I got to at some point drop my prices, be very, very aggressive, and then get a lot more traction, because you would get that value, so that's my
Once you get that
concept of it.
traction, you get more people.
Absolutely, and it adds up, right? So that's been my concept.
I think for me, pricing strategy, again, it's also not a one-size-fits-all approach, as you mentioned. Competitive pricing, psychological pricing, whatever pricing. For us in the software side of things, of course, there are certain times where you have to hedge, right? Like AWS fees are going up.
Yeah.
And let's say government has also created tariff restrictions. You have to look at market dynamics, economics, and all of those things. Like with tariffs going up and with new sanctions coming in, what can you do to also stay competitive, as you mentioned, right? So for us, we try to hedge as much, just so that we don't fall into a place where it's not being lucrative or it's not being as profitable as we want it to be. So definitely there are different, but we always look at market forces.
Okay.
So once we understand the market forces, the dynamics, what our competitors are doing. Of course, you have to study your competitor as well. It's very
Heavily,
key.
right.
So you have to look at what the competitor is offering, what sort of add-ons, special add-ons and things. And also, like you mentioned, that whole psychological thinking in our market where once it's expensive, it's good.
Right.
Once it's expensive, it's this. Once it's expensive, it's that. And we've created that, created that artificial mind that, once it's expensive, but you can get something that is pretty expensive, but the value you get, you wouldn't really like it. So for us, of course, there are certain methods that we would use to hedge against these price increments and all of that. So yeah, it's more based on market dynamics.
Right.
Yeah. Understanding market dynamics.
Okay, so this is definitely something most people overlook. But mobility can make or break your operation. And I just wanted to get your understanding of the importance of transportation in your businesses or your entrepreneurial journey.
I mean, mobility is important for us, especially when we are working with our clients, moving from one company that we have to another company, trying to assess certain problems that they are having operationally. So you have to be on premises, especially with sometimes you're dealing with servers, activation of your software on certain servers. Let's say that the client is Akaswa, and me, my office is in Usu. Right? Mobility is very important.
Yeah,
Personally, as a CEO, I have my own car that I use. Obviously, the company doesn't have its own car. We have to sometimes rely on ride-hailing services because probably I am also doing another engagement somewhere else.
Yeah.
So the team who's on premises has to get a ride-hailing service.
Or they can just rent a car from WopeCar.
Yes. Definitely. WopeCar has come in handy for us so many times. And I mean, it's one of the services that I'll definitely recommend because the ease of making sure that you can book a car and then the team can go wherever, even in a remote area, WopeCar will take you there.
Right.
And that's the freedom to go places on that front. So
that's true.
I think for us, it plays a very pivotal role. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, same thing. Mobility is very, very important. I mean, that's how you get from one point to the other. Yeah. And in terms of being efficient, productive, it is important. So heavily, and that's the concept with. And that's one thing that obviously I liked about WopeCar. You know, when the concept came to me, I just liked it. So yeah, heavily.
So this has been actually a very insightful and incredible session. Thank you so much, Brian and Carl. Okay. I don't know if you'd like to share any final thoughts, maybe the name of your company, social media handles, how people could reach out to you.
Okay, so Touchstack Technologies, at Touchstack Technologies, across all social media handles, and at Gamershive, across all social media handles. So yeah, Gamershive, Touchstack Technologies.
Right. So heavily WopeCar, heavily on that. So freedom to go places. Freedom. And we create a unique experience, so that's huge. Papafio Homes, in terms of the rental space. Cohen Manor, which falls under the assistant living category, and then a residential service agency. Yeah.
Sounds good. So to everyone building something or, just about to start, just know your story is valid and, just keep going, just keep showing up and you will definitely get there. Thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Never stops. A new adventure awaits you just a few clicks away. A road trip or vacation, a time to connect with those we care about. We take on the hassle so you don't have to. We are here to give you the freedom to go places. WopeCar. Rent a car in a few clicks.